31st Annual Miss USA Pageant. Tonight. To our winner, $150,000 in cash and prizes.
We all salute Miss USA, Miss USA, Miss USA, Miss USA.
I'm Kim Seelbrieg, and I'm Miss USA, but only for the next 2 hours. My successor will be chosen here tonight in the Mississippi Coast Coliseum and Convention Center. And now, let's go backstage to Bob Barker.
Thank you, Kim. This big audience of more than 5,000 is all set. Our special guest, Donny Osmond, has just finished going over his music. My co-host, Joan Van Art, is at the judges' table making her final check, and the judges themselves are preparing for the important decisions they'll be making tonight. We hope we're all ready. But ready or not, Donny, here we go.
Tonight is the night, and for months we've been counting each day. Yes, tonight is the night, so clear the way for Miss USA. From the 51 states, we have come with our hopes shining bright. Someone's future awaits. The time is right, tonight is the night. There's a new me flowing through me. Please don't mind if we brag. Can't help waving that flag. We've come here from near and far, mighty proud of who we are. Trying hard, reaching high, that's why tonight is the night that the glorious feelings come true. Yes, tonight is the night we're showing through the red, white, and blue.
Our special guest is that brilliant superstar from the world of popular music, Donny Osmond. Our hostess from the hit series, Knots Landing, Joan Van Art. And the star of The Price is Right and one of America's favorite television personalities, Bob Barker. And escorting our ladies, the members of the Naval Air Training Command Choir.
We
Ladies and gentlemen, here again is our host for this evening, Bob Barker.
Thank you and welcome to the beautiful Mississippi Gulf Coast. We're here on the coast again this year. I know the secret now. I know the secret now. Anytime I'm in trouble, I'll say Mississippi. You know, we've been coming to Mississippi for 4 years now, and frankly, I feel as if I'm one of y'all. We're going to see some lovely young lady become the new Miss USA tonight. And along with the prestige that accompanies the title of Miss USA, our winner will receive prizes totaling more than $150,000 in cash and merchandise. And the winner will represent our country in the Miss Universe pageant to be held July 26th in Lima, Peru, where she will compete with 85 beautiful women from all over the world. Now, more and more people who watch these pageants each year tell me that they are both viewers and judges. That is, they take pencil and paper in hand, and as the pageant progresses, they match their opinions with those of our panel here in the theater. Throughout the show, the votes of our judges will be tabulated in our computer, which will record all of the voting tonight. We'll be describing how that works, describing the areas in which our candidates are judged, and telling you how, thanks to our computer, you at home will have access to scoring information that our judges will not have. But before those explanations, let's get on with the pleasant task of meeting our lovely young women. Miss Alabama.
I'm Lisa Wheeler, and I'm from Birmingham, Alabama.
Tony McFadden, Fairbanks, Alaska.
I'm Lori Hackler from Tucson, Arizona.
I'm Terry Utley from Cabot, Arkansas.
Suzanne DeLon from Thousand Oaks, California.
I'm Dusty Hatton from Longmont, Colorado.
Maureen Sechrest, Shelton, Connecticut.
Sean Lisa Saints, Wilmington, Delaware.
Dory Easton from the District of Columbia.
Lisa Smith from Largo, Florida. I'm Callie Blackson from Savannah, Georgia. Vanessa Dubois, Honolulu, Hawaii. Valerie Steffen, Boise, Idaho.
I'm Carla Danielson from Chicago, Illinois.
I'm Sarah Binkley from Greencastle, Indiana.
Jeannie Hoyer, Fort Madison, Iowa. Stephanie Larson, Overland Park, Kansas. Christina Chapman, Owensboro, Kentucky. Lisa Michael, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Teresa Cloutier, South Portland, Maine.
Angie Boyer, Dunkirk, Maryland. Janet Marie Flaherty, Wilmington, Massachusetts. Diana Arabia, Warren, Michigan. Lori Kmetz in Wright, Minnesota. Nancy Perkins, Marks, Mississippi. Susan Hyman from Kansas City, Missouri. Karen Lee Stevenson, Bozeman, Montana. Lori Novicki from Omaha, Nebraska. Andrea Pennington, Las Vegas, Nevada. Kathy Rogers, Northampton, New Hampshire. Janice Lynn Straub, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Lisa Allen, Las Cruces, New Mexico. Anne-Marie Henderson, Monroe, New York. Janine Boger, Sanford, North Carolina. Tammy Martin, Grand Forks, North Dakota. Kim Wheat, Dayton, Ohio. Jill Liebman, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Christina Miller from Dundee, Oregon.
Teresa Rosa from North Versailles, Pennsylvania. Peggy McGraw from Scituate, Rhode Island. Margot Wood, Columbia, South Carolina.
Megan Marie North, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Niecy Levy from Nashville, Tennessee.
Lou Ann Coy from Abilene, Texas. Susan Gasser from Salt Lake City, Utah. Georgia Davis, Bennington, Vermont. Sandra D. Jones from Richmond, Virginia.
Gianna Midwards from Seattle, Washington.
Cindy Bannock, Star City, West Virginia.
Cheryl Meslowski, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Judy Wilder from Casper, Wyoming.
We don't know which one she is as yet, but you have just met the new Miss USA.
Joan Van Ark, and even though I'm used to being on CBS on Thursday evenings, tonight is something special, something different. Because instead of coming to you as Valine Ewing, the character I play on Knots Landing, tonight I'm here as hostess of this pageant, which I have loved watching many times in the past, just like you. And I gotta tell you, I'm really very excited about it. Now, my first assignment is to tell you about our scoring system, so why don't we just get started on that? Now, this bright and attractive and handsome group of people right here is our panel of judges, whom you're going to be meeting in just a little while. Now, each judge has a terminal just like this one here, and they will enter a score into that terminal for each of our candidates in the 3 areas of judging, which are swimsuits, evening gowns, and personal interviews. Now, our scores go from 1 to 9.99. So if, say, for example, a judge decides to give Miss So-and-so an 8.88 in the evening gown competition, then that score is entered like this. Now, all our scores are fed into our computer, which tabulates an average composite score for each candidate, and the young woman with the highest score is obviously going to be our new Miss USA. Throughout the evening, I'll be recapping our scoring, but that will not be heard by our contestants, our judges, or our audience here in the Coliseum. That's just going to be between you and me. So I'll also be talking to guests and contestants and tell you about what's coming up. For example, we have a very special swimsuit event for you right after this word from Head and Shoulders. Our panel of judges spent the past week making evaluations of our candidates that would eventually lead to their selection of our 12 semifinalists. Tonight, their job is to select 5 finalists from that group, and then from the 5, choose the new Miss USA. The swimsuit competition was one of the 3 judging areas, along with interviews and evening gowns, which our judges used in making their determination. Now, after they were judged and scored in the official identical swimsuits, we taped them in a special fashion swimsuit extravaganza to show you all 51 contestants in swimsuits and some beautiful locations on our Gulf Coast. As you see each of our young women in their swimsuits from JCPenney's Miss USA collection, you will also see on your screen the score each contestant received in the preliminary swimsuit competition. So you all get ready at home there and here and see if you can pick out our 12 semifinalists. Bob?
Thank you, Joan. Time now for us to see our beautiful candidates as they visited various locations on the scenic Mississippi Gulf Coast. This is the shoreline of the Mississippi Gulf Coast with its white sand and blue water. These shimmering waters are in the Hancock Plaza and make up, along with a white marble strip, a simulation of the Harrison County shoreline. It's here in Hancock Plaza that we meet our first group of young ladies, starting with Miss Montana, Pierrette Stevenson, and Miss Arkansas, Terry Utley. From the state next door, we greet Miss Louisiana, Lisa Ann Michael, and from our smallest state, Peggy McGraw, Miss Rhode Island. Miss Connecticut is Maureen Sechrist, and here is Janine Withers-Boger, Miss North Carolina. Miss West Virginia is Cindy Bannock, and with her is Miss Wisconsin, Cheryl Ann Maslowski. Before moving on, we meet Miss Alaska, Tony Lynn McFadden, and Valerie Marie Steffen, Miss Idaho. The Golden Fisherman Monument is unique in that it honors not an individual, but all those in the fishing industry, which is so important in this area. Here we find him casting his net for a catch that includes Miss Oregon, Christina Bauer, and also from the Northwest, Jana Minerich, Miss Washington. Miss Minnesota is Laurie Kometz, and with her is Teresa Cloutier, Miss Maine. The fountain and the fishermen provide a backdrop for Miss Texas, Luann Coy, and Miss Indiana, Sarah Binkley. Now we greet Anne Marie Henderson, who is Miss New York, and Miss Iowa, Jeannie Hoyer. The last of the group that visited the fishermen are Carla Jo Danielson, Miss Illinois, and Lisa Wheeler, Miss Alabama. Here on the grounds of a Gulf Coast estate, we find 2 symbols of gracious southern living from 2 different eras, a gazebo and a swimming pool. Their beauty is enhanced by Miss South Carolina, Margot Michelle Wood, and Miss Delaware, Shauna Lisa Saints. Megan Marie North is Miss South Dakota, and Kelly Blackston is Miss Georgia. From nearly 6,000 miles apart come Miss Hawaii, Vanessa Dubois. And Miss Virginia, Sandra D. Jones. The gazebo, which commands a view of the Gulf, serves as a backdrop for Miss Arizona, Lori Hackala, and Miss Florida, Lisa Smith. And from our host state, here is Miss Mississippi, Nancy Perkins. And Kathy Rogers, Miss New Hampshire. Homes in the 200-year-old styles of the Cajun and Creole settlers can be found here at Diamond Head, along with a modern-day swimming pool where we greet Miss Kentucky, Christina Chapman, and Diane Marie Arabia, who is Miss Michigan. In the background here, we see Bayou Benicia, and in the foreground, Miss Maryland, Angie Boyer, and Miss Utah, Susan Gasser. Joining us now is Miss Missouri, Susan Hyman, and Miss Tennessee, Nisi Levy. Time now to meet Suzanne DeWam, who is Miss California. And with her is Tamara Martinson, Miss North Dakota. From our nation's capital comes Miss District of Columbia, Lori Estep, and Miss Wyoming, Judy Lynn Wilder. The Choctaw Indians called this place Devil's Elbow 200 years ago, but today the wigwams and the birch bark canoes have been replaced by a yacht club and power boats. Also, on occasion, some lovely guests stop by. For example, here is Miss Nevada, Andrea K. Pennington, and Miss Colorado, Dusty Hutton. Here are Miss Pennsylvania, Teresa Rosa, and Miss New Jersey, Janice Lynn Straub. As a boat leaves the marina, we see Miss Kansas, Stephanie Larson, and Lisa K. Allen, who is Miss New Mexico. Moving into our picture now is Janet Marie Flaherty, Miss Massachusetts, and Kim Wida, Miss Ohio. This is Miss Nebraska, Lori Lynn Novicki, and Jill Ann Liebman, Miss Oklahoma. And from New England comes our final contestant, Miss Vermont, Georgia Davis. This beautiful Gulf Coast house embodies the style found in many old homes in the famous French Quarter of New Orleans. Balconies, columns, and lots of wrought iron. It's in this lovely setting that our 51 candidates have assembled for you to have one more chance to see them all together and for them to send you a collective greeting from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. In our audience here tonight are three gentlemen who are proud of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. In fact, they're proud of the whole state of Mississippi. They are Governor and Mrs. William Winter, Lieutenant Governor, and Mrs. Brad Dye, C.B. Buddy Newman, Speaker of the House, and his wife. Here they are. Our judges started evaluating our candidates a week ago, and they've observed each contestant in swimsuit, evening gown, and personal interview competitions. The computer has averaged the scores of each young lady in those three categories and is ready now to tell us the names of our 12 semifinalists. As each name is announced, you at home will see the cumulative score each young woman received from our judges. Now, may I have the computer readout, please? Thank you, Mr. John Kilkeary. Before I read these names, which will be called in no particular order, here again are the young ladies in their lovely sportswear ensembles made especially for them by Jones, New York. Let me say good luck to all of you as we present our 12 candidates for the title of Miss USA. These are the 12 girls who have a chance to become Miss USA. The first name on the list is Miss Virginia. Number 2, Miss Tennessee. Come on down, Miss Michigan. And we want Miss Vermont. Our next semifinalist is Miss Hawaii. We're halfway there, y'all, with Miss Texas. Now we have 6 more names on the list of 12 semifinalists, and number 7 is Miss Kentucky. And how about Miss Massachusetts? Number 9 is Miss Utah. And here comes Miss Arkansas. There are only 2 more names on the list of 12 semifinalists. Only 2 more girls who have a chance to become Miss USA of 1982. One of them is Miss Ohio. And now we're down to number 12, the last name on the list. The last name is Miss Maryland. Congratulations to our semifinalists, one of whom will be the new Miss USA.
We're narrowing it down now. The scoring in the preliminary judging showed that the best score was received by Miss Texas, second place was Miss Ohio, and third place was Miss Utah. Now the preliminary phase is over, and the scoring will start brand new again with all these 12 finalists even. So our next step is Bob's interview with each semifinalist, and that begins right after this word from Cheer.
Now I am going to interview each of our 12 semifinalists. Over the years, I've learned that anything can happen here because the young women do not know what I am going to ask them, and I have no idea what they are going to answer. At the end of each of the interviews, you at home will see the contestants' average score in this part of the competition. I should point out here that throughout the evening, the judges will know only what score he or she gives each contestant. The average scores, which appear on your screens at home, will not be shown on the monitors here in the theater. Now, let's meet Miss Virginia. Step right out here. Miss Virginia is Sandra D. Jones. She's 24. She lives in Richmond, and you have already received one of the top awards of the pageant. I'm referring to Miss Photogenic. Why don't you tell our viewers about that, how it's awarded?
Well, the other afternoon around 1:30, we all got up on stage and we were supposed to be here for the Miss Photogenic. And I was looking over on the other side, and I said, oh, something's going to happen. And then when they announced my name, I was just thrilled and shocked.
Well, the point is that the photographers who cover the pageant from all over the world make this award, and they chose Miss Virginia as the most photogenic young lady in the pageant this year. Now, I find it interesting that she is not just Miss Virginia, and she is not just Sandra D. Jones of Richmond. She is Sandra D. Jones Incorporated. And would you explain that?
Well, last year I started a modeling and advertising agency in Richmond and in Atlanta. And the modeling has, I've done a few things with TV and magazines and things like that. And I'm starting a new restaurant in advertising. And we're starting it from the ground floor up, so we're real excited about it.
Do you have any friends or relatives here to cheer the corporation on?
Yes, I do. Friends?
How many? Now, wait a minute. You got the governor of Mississippi applauding over here.
Thank you.
How many do you have?
I have about 24 here.
They're investors who are here to check on their investment, right? Thank you very much, Miss Virginia. They're seeing the score at home. Now we will talk with Miss Tennessee, who is Niecy Levy, 21, a student at Middle Tennessee State University. And what do you study?
I majored in broadcast journalism.
Good for you. What would you like to do?
Well, I hope to become a broadcast journalist someday.
And work in news.
That's right.
Would you like to start right now?
Oh, I'd love to.
My thought is that Dan Rather has just said we are going now to the Mississippi Gulf Coast for an on-the-scene report on the Miss USA pageant from Niecy Levy. Go.
I'm reporting from the live telecast of the Miss USA pageant. On stage with me is Mr. Bob Barker, who is Master of Ceremonies, and in front of me we have the celebrity panel of judges in whose capable hands lies the decision of who will be Miss USA for 1982. And we'll be back later to bring you the results. This is Niecy Levy reporting for CBS.
Frankly, that was a little too good. Thank you very much, Miss Tennessee. Miss Michigan, come out to me, please. She is Diane Marie Arabia, 21, from Warren, a professional musician.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us what you have done, what you are doing, and what you would like to do in music?
Well, right now I am teaching privately in my home. I've got about 30 or 40 of my own students. I'm a jazz player. I played with a jazz show group for about 2.5 years, which enabled me to do a lot of traveling across the country. Through the past 12 or 14 years, I've done a lot of studying, and I've chosen jazz as my specialty. I've just found it to be a little bit more of an expressive type music. It allows me to be a little bit more creative when I'm composing.
What's been the most fun for you in the pageant?
Probably the most exciting thing for me is just having the opportunity to meet and socialize with all the other girls. To be totally honest, seeing
Well,
that...
I would certainly want you to be totally honest, Miss Michigan.
Seeing that none of us have seen men for the 2.5 weeks rehearsing with the Naval Aviation Troupe hasn't been too bad either.
To be totally honest, again, you mean?
Yeah, again.
I have good news for you.
What?
One of the prizes that Miss USA receives is an ensign this year.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you, Miss Michigan. They have seen her score at home, and we will talk with Miss Vermont. Miss Vermont is Georgia Davis, age 22, from Bennington, a professional model. Now, as a professional model, you may have had the opportunity to do some traveling, have you?
Yes, I have.
Where have you been working?
I've been working in Italy, Spain, France, Monaco, Switzerland, and America.
Well, very good. Now, these are some exotic places, but the girls have told me that you are very, very proud of Vermont. Would you like to have this opportunity to tell everyone the glories of Vermont?
I would love to. Vermont is a very beautiful state. I'm very proud to be from Vermont. There are many things found in Vermont that can't be found anywhere else in the world. And I hope that each and every one of you will visit us someday.
Now, the girls have been sampling Southern cooking, and they have tried such delicacies as crawfish. Did you like the crawfish?
No, in Vermont we use it as bait.
Now, one man's delicacy is another man's bait. Thank you very much, Miss Vermont. They've tried black-eyed peas, they've had ham hocks, gumbo, the whole thing. Miss Hawaii, would you come out to me, please? She is Vanessa Dubois, 23, from Honolulu. She's an airline stewardess, and I know what many of you at home are saying, that she is the one you heard about on the newscast who had her pendant stolen in New York City, and you did, didn't you, Vanessa?
That was me.
Yes. Tell our audience about that.
Well, we were staying at the Holleran House in New York City, and we went up the street for about a block just to go to the cosmetics store to get some things to bring down here to Mississippi with us. And we were crossing the street, felt this hand, and my necklace was gone.
But the story has a happy ending, doesn't it?
It's very happy. The
What
New York
has
police are wonderful. They found the man that bought the necklace, and they found the man who stole the necklace, and they have the necklace now. And they're going to be giving it back to me very shortly. I'm not sure when.
Which speaks very well of the New York City Police Department. Does indeed. The story does have a happy ending. And what other highlights now of your trip other than being mugged?
Well, being here has been just a wonderful joy for me. They have a lot of aloha spirit here, which is Southern hospitality back home.
Now, I am going to ask you to go back to your place and speak to no strangers as you go. Just go directly back there, all right?
Thank you.
Go ahead, Miss Hawaii. Now let's meet Miss Texas. Miss Texas is Luann Coy. She's 22. She lives in Abilene. She attends Texas Tech University, and what are you studying?
Fashion merchandising.
And what do you plan to do?
I want to design someday maybe swimsuits.
Now, you are a member of this joggers group here, are you not?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. We've been jogging every night since we've been here, and it's up and down the halls because you can't go outside. And so we have mapped it out that if you jog about 15 laps, that's 1 mile. So we've been doing that every night, and the security guards have been directing traffic. It's pretty funny.
How many of you jog?
There's about 5 of us.
If I have dark circles under my eyes, I want you to know that my room is right under this thundering herd.
Sorry.
And they jog religiously. You've also been ballooning since you got to Mississippi.
Yes, I have, and that was an experience, let me tell you. Miss Louisiana and I were chosen to go up in this hot air balloon. And we were pretty scared at first, but once we got up there, it was a lot of fun. And the funny part about it is that we landed in someone's backyard, and they were celebrating Mother's Day by having a barbecue. So on the way down, we were going, can we have some? We're pretty hungry.
All right. Thank you, Miss Texas. You've met half of our semifinalists. How about it, you armchair judges? Is one of them going to be the new Miss USA?
Women have worn the crown of Miss USA, and we're all here tonight to see who's going to be number 31. But there's a lot to be done before we know who that lucky girl is going to be. And we'll be back with more of the interview competition after this word from Pampers.
We've had a chance to meet 6 of our semifinalists. Now it is time to talk with the other 6, beginning with you, Miss Kentucky. Come out here to me, please. She is Christina Chapman. She is 19. She lives in Owensboro. She attends Kentucky Wesleyan. And what do you study?
I am an advertising communications major.
And you would like to do what eventually?
Well, someday, eventually, I would like to own my ad agency in a large metropolitan area.
I gave Miss Vermont an opportunity to talk about her state. Let's imagine that you are representing Kentucky with your advertising agency. What would you tell us about Kentucky?
Okay, not only is Kentucky known to be such a great industrial state, but we are known to have beautiful bluegrass countries, and Phyllis George Brown has been to all four corners of our great nation, and she, our First Lady of Kentucky, has chosen Kentucky to raise her son Lincoln.
Possibly because she's married to the governor of Kentucky.
Well, that could help.
What else do you have in Kentucky?
Kentucky is great for farming and fast horses and beautiful women.
Yes, that's right. How many, speaking of fast horses, how many Kentucky Derbies have you seen?
I've seen some, but I haven't ever attended any in person.
What do you mean you've seen some, but you haven't attended?
Well, on TV.
Oh, on television. You mean you have never attended?
No, I haven't.
Are you sure you're not from New Jersey?
I'm positive.
Thank you, Miss Kentucky.
Thank you.
You have seen her score, and now let's meet Miss Massachusetts, who is Janet Marie Flaherty, 24 years old, from Wilmington. She models and teaches modeling, and her ambition is to own a health spa. Now, have you worked in a health spa?
Resort health spa.
A resort health spa, yes. Have you worked in a spa?
Yes, I have.
And do you really think that you are capable of operating one?
Sure.
Now, it's quite an investment. Have you saved your money for this?
Well, I was wondering or hoping maybe I'd be able to get a few backers.
You mean here?
Sure.
Anyone like to invest in a health spa in Massachusetts? Strange, but each investor is a young man. Now, Miss Massachusetts, you have been working on your New England accent since you came here, have you not?
I have.
Show our audience, when you arrived, how you would have said, Bob Barker, park your car here.
Bob Barker, park your car here.
Yes, but she's been here for 2 weeks, and she's worked hard. Now show us how you say it.
Bob Barker, park your car here, you all.
She's lost her accent. Thank you. And we are ready for Miss Utah. Miss Utah is Susan Gasser, age 19. She lives in Salt Lake City, and she is studying accounting at the University of Utah and wants to become a CPA. Now, we have talked so much about Southern hospitality. Do you have any comments on that, Miss Utah?
Well, the Southern people sure know how to have a good time, and they make their guests feel right at home.
Particularly those in the balcony. Have you noticed? Now, you agree then that there is Southern hospitality and lots of it. You come from a family of 6 brothers and sisters.
Right.
Is that fun?
Correct. Yes, very fun. They become my best friends.
Would you like to have a large family? How many would you like?
4 or 5.
Really?
Yes, large family.
I suggest you find a Southern gentleman with a plantation here. You're studying to be a CPA. What would you do when you will have this opportunity, you know? I mean, you have this opportunity. You will win $70,000 cash if you're Miss USA. What will you do with it?
Spend it.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Utah. I'm sure she will do exactly that, CPA or not. And Miss Arkansas, Terry Utley, who is 20 years old and who lives in Cabot, Arkansas, and who works for a resort in Hot Springs, Arkansas. What do you do?
I sell timeshares on condominiums. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it. It's brand new in the United States. It's a great way to have vacation time for the next 36 years.
Yes, you sound as if you might be selling condominiums. You do indeed. Where are these?
at Hot Springs, Arkansas. It's Hamilton Harbor Resort.
And you live in Cabot.
Yes, sir.
How large is Cabot?
It's a town of around 4,000. It's a little small town.
What do you do in Cabot, Arkansas, population 4,000, on Saturday night?
In the winter, we stay at home, but in the summer, we tend to go downtown at the Tasty Freeze. And this is funny. My friends at home are going to shoot me, but we sit on the back of the truck sometimes, and I have a friend that plays the banjo, and some of the guys dip skull and, you know, drink a little beer. It's a little good time.
Sounds about like what we do in Hollywood, right, Vic? Thank you, Miss Arkansas. Let's go to Cabot. Let's go to Cabot tonight. And let's meet Miss Ohio before we go. She is Kim Wida. She is 21. She lives in Dayton. And she attends Sinclair College. And what do you study?
Fashion illustration.
Now, you know, I read the bios of the girls in the pageant, and I have good news for you young men in the audience. Miss Ohio is one of the few girls in the pageant who said in her bio that she does not have a boyfriend.
That's right.
Now, be patient, be patient. I am going to sort you out. What sort of boy are you looking for?
Witty, attractive, and ambitious. And if the man is here, would you please come on down?
I don't know about you judges, but she made several points with me just then. Have you been sampling the cooking down here? Have you tried grits?
Every morning, I eat them.
Do you like them?
I love them. A lot of sugar.
You know, on the pageant last year, I said that I liked grits, and I got grits from all over Mississippi. And this year, I want you to know I like diamonds, too. Thank you, Miss Ohio. Miss Maryland, would you come over to me, please? She is Angie Boyer. She is 18. She lives in Dunkirk. She graduates from high school in just 1 week. Yes. And what are your plans?
Well, I plan on attending the University of Maryland to major in television broadcasting, and hopefully someday I'll be an anchor person for a news station or maybe even have my own talk show.
Hopefully you will. Now, if you're graduating in just 1 week, you're probably missing some activities back at high school, aren't you?
Yes, I've missed my senior banquet, my senior class trip, and most of all, senior week, because that's when all the seniors get to say goodbye to each other.
What about final exams?
Oh, I still have to take those.
You have not taken them?
No, I haven't.
Maybe you won't be going to the University of Maryland after all.
That's true.
Have you studied since you've been here?
No.
Will you have time to study when you get home before you have to take the exams?
I'll probably have time, but I probably won't do it.
You see, they are very truthful in these interviews. Now, you have a little buddy here with you, don't you?
Yes, my little brother, and he's out there somewhere.
You know what he did? He came to me and he said, if it were possible, would I mention him on the telecast tonight? He's a very precocious young fellow. How old is he?
He's 8.
He's Chaz.
He's Chaz.
Chaz is his name. And there he is right now. Chaz, I asked him what he liked most about having his sister be Miss Maryland. He said, the thing I liked best was getting my picture in the paper. That's Chaz. Thank you, Miss Maryland. You have met our 12 semifinalists, and I have a question for you judges at home. Have you changed your mind, or are you still confident of your first choice?
Okay, now we've taken the first of 3 steps that are going to make our 12 semifinalists turn into 5 finalists. Since this is live television and we have a couple of problems, we want to let you know that Virginia, though it didn't appear on your screens, received a score of 8.77. And the final scores showed that Miss Ohio was first, Miss Arkansas was second, and Miss Utah was third. But remember, there are 2 more important areas of judging, swimsuits and evening gowns, yet to take place. And we're going to get to meet our panel of judges, and we'll also hear from our special guest, Donny Osmond, when we come back after this word from Safeguard.
To entertain you now, a handsome and talented singer who is a favorite with audiences all over the world. We feel fortunate that he's been with us frequently on both the Miss USA and the Miss Universe pageants. You know him, you know his voice, but tonight you get to meet his beard. The song 100 Ways. The singer, superstar, Donny Osmond.
Compliment what she does. Send her roses just because. If it's violin she loves, let them play. Dedicate her favorite song and hold her closer all night long. Love her today, find 100 ways. Don't forget, there could be an old lover in a memory. If you need her so much more, why don't you say? Maybe she has it in her mind that she's just wasting her time. Ask her to stay, find 100 ways. Being cool won't help you keep a loved one. You'll just blow your own chance. Take the time to open up your heart. That's the secret of romance. Oh, in your arms tonight, she'll reflect that she owes you the sweetest of debts. She wants to pay, find 100 ways. You better believe it, oh, love her today, find 100 ways. I'm telling you, love her, find 100 ways.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love you too. And my beard loves you too. You like it? You know, this pageant is the culmination of a lot of hard work from a lot of wonderful people. And I'm thinking especially of our wonderful judges. It is to their credit that they take their responsibility as seriously as they do, and I congratulate each and every one of them for not losing sight of that dedication. Now it's my pleasure to introduce them to you. Our first judge started his show business career as an usher in New York's Paramount Theater. He's recognized as one of the great singers in American popular music. Mr. Vic Damone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, two of our judges have a very special awareness of what it's like to be a contestant in our pageant. The first is a beautiful young woman who was Miss USA 1980, Janine Ford. The founder and owner of one of the leading modeling agencies in the United States, Zoli. The star of nightclubs and television, and a singer with more than 30 million records sold. Her autobiography, A Girl Singer, will be published this fall. Her nibs, Miss Georgia Gibbs. Television audiences have come to know him in many, many roles, especially that of Jeff Colby in the hit series Dynasty. John James, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for the past 5 years, this young woman has been one of the world's most successful models, appearing on more than 50 covers of the world's most popular magazines. Please welcome Michelle Stevens. A veteran of 7 years in the National Football League, the star wide receiver of the Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers, Freddie Solomon, ladies and gentlemen. As first a commercial spokeswoman and later as a television and Broadway actress, this lovely lady has become a favorite of American audiences, Julia Meade. While his credits include opera, musical comedy, and drama on stage and screen, he's most popular for his character of Sergeant Kater on the series Chips. Robert Pine, ladies and gentlemen. Now, our next judge operates 2 modeling schools in California and is busy as a television actress, but it wasn't too long ago that she had the thrill of being crowned Miss USA. Please welcome the lovely Summer Bartholomew. The first man to use a TV camera in space, the first man to execute a pilot-controlled re-entry from space, and the first man to fly 2 orbital flights, the distinguished pioneer astronaut, Colonel Gordon Cooper. Thank you very much, judges.
Hi there. We're in the dressing room now where the hairbrushes and the swimsuits are flying because we're in our dressing room with the semifinalists. I have a question for one of them right here, Miss Virginia. I guess this is a natural question, but are you as nervous tonight as you thought you'd be?
Oh, yes, more nervous. This is wonderful. This is really exciting.
Are you excited about the whole event, I guess, being one of the finalists?
Yes, I am. It's a great honor.
What has been the biggest surprise of this pageant so far, do you think?
I think winning Miss Photogenic was a big, big surprise.
I know. I was here that night. It was wonderful, and you well deserved the honor. Just ahead now is the Miss USA swimsuit competition, and we're going to see that right after this word from Crisco.
The interviews, the first of the 3 competitions for our semifinalists, have been completed. We move now to the second category, the swimsuit competition. Each contestant will appear in her official J.C. Penney Miss USA swimsuit, and each judge will enter an individual score into the computer. The computer will tabulate those scores, come up with an average for each candidate, and you folks at home will see the score immediately. Now, against the background of the Mississippi State flower, the magnolia, we welcome 12 of America's loveliest young women in the Miss USA swimsuit competition. First, here is Miss Virginia.
Sandra has dark brown hair and blue eyes. She's 27 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighs 120 pounds.
Miss Tennessee.
Nisi is 21 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighs 117 pounds. Her hair is brown, and her eyes are green.
Miss Michigan.
Diane is 5 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 115 pounds. Her hair is brown and her eyes are hazel. Diane is 21 years old.
Miss Vermont.
22-year-old Georgia is 5 feet 9.5 inches tall and weighs 120 pounds. She has dark brown hair and eyes.
Miss Hawaii.
Vanessa is 5 feet 7 inches tall and weighs 118 pounds. She's 23 years old and has dark brown hair and eyes.
Miss Texas.
Luann weighs 118 pounds and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She's 22 years old and has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Miss Kentucky.
Christina's hair is light brown and her eyes are blue. She's 19 years old, weighs 130 pounds, and stands 5 feet 10 inches tall.
Miss Massachusetts.
Janet is 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 122 pounds. She's 24 years old and has chestnut hair and blue eyes.
Miss Utah.
Susan is a blue-eyed blonde. She's 19 years old, 5 feet 9.5 inches tall, and weighs 118 pounds.
Miss Arkansas.
Standing 5 feet 8 inches tall, Terry weighs 128 pounds, has brown hair and eyes. Terry is 20 years old.
Miss Ohio.
Year-old Kim weighs 110 pounds and is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. She has chestnut hair and dark brown eyes.
Miss Maryland.
Angie is 18 years old. She weighs 118 pounds and is 5 feet 8.5 inches tall. Angie is a green-eyed blonde.
the 12 semifinalists in tonight's swimsuit competition.
On July 26th, we'll crown a new Miss Universe in Lima, Peru, and we'll be joined by these two gorgeous ladies, Miss Peru, Señorita Gladys Silva, see?
Yes.
And Miss Universe, Irene Saez.
Thank you.
Gladys, tell me, what can we look forward to this year in Peru?
A very warm welcome for sure. Besides Lima, you'll find the Andes, the Amazon, and the Pacific Ocean, and of course, Machu Picchu.
Oh, yes, the lost city of the Incas, right?
Right.
And tell me, are you looking forward to Lima this year?
I have mixed emotion. Why? Peru is a beautiful country. There are many interesting things to see.
Such as what?
Machu Picchu, town squares, the Pampas of Nazca.
Oh, and you say you have mixed emotions. You sad, you triste?
Really, a little bit. Why? Because to be Miss Universe is a wonderful experience, but the time passed too fast. In Peru, I will turn over my title to a new Miss Universe, and this is an experience I could never forget.
We're never going to forget you either, don't you worry. We look forward to seeing both of you from the Miss Universe pageant when it is telecast live on CBS from Lima, Peru on July 26th. Now we have the results, I believe. Yes, here they are. Girls, careful. The first place went to Miss Texas, second place was Miss Kentucky, and Miss Ohio was third. Now our big production number featuring the incomparable Donny Osmond will be coming up right after this word from Shure.
Of Miss USA carries with it tremendous prestige. It also provides the winner the opportunity to represent our country in the Miss Universe pageant, which will be telecast live from Lima, Peru on July 26th. And there are other rewards too, among them $70,000 in cash. Her prize package, totaling more than $150,000 in cash and merchandise, includes $15,000 first prize money, a $15,000 personal appearance contract, as well as each of these sensational prizes.
At a beautiful Gulf Coast estate, our Miss USA Kim Sealbreed models a Canada Majestic mink coat, recognized by many fur buyers the world over as the finest of the finest, and designed by Natural Furs Canada. Kim combines business and pleasure at the keyboard of an Atari 800 home computer system, which can be used for entertainment, education, home information, personal finance, and even to send a very special message. Whether it's for cheeks, lips, eyes, or nails, young women care about their makeup. The new Miss USA will receive a $10,000 cash award and a 5-year supply of cosmetics from Maybelline. This year's winner goes her symbol of elegance, her beautiful crown, a $5,000 cash award, and an exquisite collection of jewelry, all from Aubrey McDonald Creations. To add style to her lifestyle, Kim is wearing Jones New York. This is just one of the outfits included in her $2,500 Jones New York wardrobe, along with a $5,000 cash award. Monarch S1 sport boat, powered by a Chrysler 105 horsepower engine. Standard features include swim ladder, ice chest, and canvas top, and a lot of fun. Coppertone, America's largest selling line of sun care products, will present to the new Miss USA $5,000 in cash, plus a 5-year supply of their sun care products. A wonderful time. Timex, who makes technology beautiful, will present to the new Miss USA $5,000 in cash, plus a complete wardrobe of wind watches, great-looking quartz, ultra-thin digitals, and new clocks. While cooling off in the pool, Kim models 5 carats of diamond pave, set in a specially designed 14-carat white gold star pendant from Hallmark Jewelry. Miss USA loves sweets, including a treat for the feet. Candy Shoes, a division of El Greco, is proud to present Miss USA with a year-round wardrobe of the trendy fashion footwear all winners wear. Ford Mustang GT. The boss is back. Sharp, street smart, with sporty suspension and aggressive good looks. It's what real driving fun has always been about.
Our young ladies have prepared an exciting musical salute to the Mississippi Gulf Coast and its lifestyle. And now, with our guest star, Donny Osmond, here it is.
When the sun goes down, the tide goes out, the people gather around and they all begin to shout. Hey, hey, Uncle Dud, it's a treat to beat your feet on the Mississippi mud. It's a treat to beat your feet on the Mississippi mud. What a dance do they do? Lordy, how I'm telling you, they don't need no band. They can rhyme by clapping their hands, just as happy as a cow chewing on a cud when the people beat the beat on the Mississippi mud.
We got homemade biscuits and country hams, fatback turnip greens, candied yams. We got folks riding over from Ocean Springs just to hear Slim Willis and the Dixie Kings. Got red-eye gravy for the rice and beans, and hot sauce coming up from New Orleans. When dancing's over and the folks are fed, there's guitar picking by Gulf Coast Red.
Sing out,
Sing out, ladies.
swing out,
Oh, swing out, ladies. Join the fun and follow me to the Mississippi Jamboree. Catfish Charlie's bringing grits and cheese.
fried dill pickles and black-eyed peas.
We got hot corn fritters right out of the pan.
And Gulf Coast shrimp from Pakistan.
Waveland man's making pickle deal.
And Mary's gonna fry some tater peels.
Got a barrel of cider from a Gulfport pub.
And Eddie's red pudding in a great big tub. Sing out,
Sing out, ladies.
swing out.
Oh, swing out, ladies. Southern food is flowing free at the Mississippi Jamboree. New Jersey brought tomatoes right off of the farm.
Miss Texas made chili rated for alarms.
Wisconsin brought cheese and a keg of suds.
Miss Idaho's making up home grown spuds.
Florida's got blinds from the Florida Keys.
Miss Georgia's got peaches on the Georgia trees.
Shucking oysters on the Biloxi sand.
And dancing to the rhythm of a tambourine band. Sing out,
Sing out, ladies.
swing out.
I said swing out, ladies. Mind you, save a dance for me at the Mississippi Jamboree. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. Yes, tonight you're gonna be our Sharon Neo. Pick guitar, fill the jar, and be gay-o. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bio. My Joe, we gotta go, Rio Mayo. We gotta go pull the Pira down the bio. Come on, honey, sweetest one, Rio Mayo. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bio. Jambalaya, crawfish pie, filet gumbo. Yes, tonight we celebrate Miss USA-O. Big guitar, fill the jar, and be gay-o. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun.
On the fire,
Sing out,
on the fire.
swing out.
It's a Mississippi Jamboree. Mississippi Jamboree.
Wow, I think that every single one of those girls should be Miss USA after that number. I'm here with Kim Seelbreed right now, who is our reigning Miss USA, and we were just talking a few seconds ago about the 2 weeks that the contestants spend down here getting ready for tonight.
Right.
What about that, Kim?
There's a lot of hard work, but there's also a lot of fun things. And judging, rehearsals, etc. It's a lot of hard work. But we'd like to show you some of the fun things right now.
Let's look. Republic, the official airline of this year's Miss USA pageant, brought our contestants to the Gulf Coast, where they were welcomed with bouquets from local youngsters and a United States Navy color guard. It didn't take too long before they headed for the sands of the Broadwater Beach Hotel, where they showed their skill with these all-terrain vehicles. Now that looks like fun. Is it fun, ladies? Well, Thumbs Up also describes their reaction to riding jet skis across the waters of one of the area's famous bayous. For a look at watercraft of a slightly larger size, they visited Ingalls Shipbuilding and were welcomed aboard the USS Ticonderoga, a cruiser which went to sea for the first time last week. They were treated to a visit to the ship's Combat Information Center, where radar and sonar information is analyzed and from where its missiles are launched. There were missiles of another kind on the agenda, too. This time, they were part of the Atari video games, which provided some friendly competition for the young ladies, either against each other or against the games. From the electronic world of the game room, it was on to a lesson in the art of pottery making at the Shearwater Pottery Works. It is fun, but the ladies were warned that it could get a little messy. Miss Massachusetts got some on her cheek. The same cheek that was later the center of attention when the contestants gathered at the Royal d'Iberville Hotel for a makeup clinic held for them by Maybelline, a regular pageant feature. Next, there was a very special tug-of-war. Wearing their brand-new Candy shoes, they matched their strength against a group of their chaperones. It was a challenge for both sides, and a field day for girl watchers of all ages. The contestants won, but the chaperones did make a big splash. Good going, ladies. While the weather was warm, the ladies were treated to something hot. Not food, but hot air balloons. They were thrilled to find out that they would get to ride in the gondolas. And they got a very special view of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now this looks like something that's both beautiful and exciting. It marked the end of a perfect day. Up, up and away. We'll just be back in time for the pageant. We've all heard the expression that you can feel the electricity in the air. Well, I'm telling you tonight you really can, because it's everywhere. The judges feel it as they deliberate, and certainly our contestants are surrounded by it. But the truth is that everybody on our production staff and stage crew feels it, because this is that most exciting part of our business. This is live television. I mean, sets must be changed and lights must be cued, cameras have to be moved, and all of it with no time to spare. There are no retakes, there are no excuses. When the cue is given, the waters must dance, you know, like this. Hey, dance! Oh boy, what a feeling of power. Well, to everybody backstage and to all our technical people all over this Coliseum, I want to say congratulations, because you deserve it. Now, our final competition, the evening gowns, is going to come up right after this word from Crest.
Time now for the third and final category of our semi-final competition. As each contestant models an evening gown of her own choice, our panel of judges will give each of our semi-finalists a score based on poise, charm, and a flair for fashion. The score will be tabulated and averaged by our computer and shown instantly on your television screen at home. Following the evening gown competition, all of the scores for the semi-finalists will be totaled and averaged. The young women with the 5 highest scores will become our finalists. As always, the pageant is delighted to salute Armed Forces Day, which is Saturday, May 22nd. With that in mind, it is most appropriate that our evening gown contestants be serenaded and escorted by members of the Naval Air Training Command Choir. And forming the Sabre Arch will be the 4th Marine Division Wing Team. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miss USA Evening Gown Competition. Miss Virginia.
Tennessee.
Since I've seen old Jackson Town, I could be on the other side of the world, but if I'm there,
Miss Michigan.
all I can see is Spanish moss hanging from my old tree. Mississippi, save a place for me. I'll be coming home again. Mississippi, until then,
Miss Vermont.
you'll be on my
Miss Hawaii.
I'll be coming home again. Mississippi, until then, you'll be on my mind.
Miss Texas. Miss Kentucky.
This land was made for you and me.
Miss Massachusetts. Miss Utah.
right now with a young woman who knows what it's like to wear the crown of Miss USA. She's a 1977 winner, former Miss Texas, Kim Tomes Dutton. Come here, Kim. Hi, Kim. I want to know, what is the one piece of advice that you would give our new Miss USA this year?
Well, I'd probably give her advice to keep a diary because she'll be going to so many wonderful places and meeting so many people that it would be a good idea to have a diary for the future.
Let me ask you, did you keep a diary?
No, it's all in boxes upstairs. I need to get it all straightened out, but I will someday.
Okay. Listen, we'll be right back for the scoring results. No, we have them right here. Goody gumdrops, okay? First place went to Miss Ohio. Second place was Miss Texas, and third was Miss Arkansas. Now, the judges have made their decisions, and I'm sure that you at home have made yours as well. And in a very few moments, this computer is going to tell you whether you and our judges agree on the selection of our 5 finalists. And that will happen right after this word from Ivory Liquid.
It all began months ago when thousands and thousands of young women all over the country entered Miss USA competitions. By the start of tonight's show, that number was down to 51. Then we saw the 51 become 12. And now that number will be reduced to our 5 finalists. It's time for you at home to match your choices against those of our judges. The judges' composite score for each of the 5 finalists will be shown on your television screen. Now, may I have the computer readout, please? Thank you, John. Again, good luck to all 12 of you. Here we go with the names of our 5 finalists, one of whom will be Miss USA. The first name on the list, Miss Texas. Now, Miss Utah. The third name is Miss Ohio. Our next finalist is Miss Arkansas. Ladies and gentlemen, the last name on the list of 5 finalists is Miss Kentucky. Congratulations. One of you young ladies will be in Lima, Peru this summer as Miss USA in the Miss Universe competition.
You can feel the tension building all over here in the Coliseum as we get still closer to learning who is going to be the new Miss USA. Now, the previous scores have all been wiped out, so our 5 finalists up there are all starting out all even. Our judges will base their decision on each contestant, how they answer this question that they're about to be asked. Okay, Bob?
This is our completely soundproof isolation booth. I'm about to ask each of our young ladies a question, and it will be the same question for each. While one contestant is answering the question, the others will wait inside the booth. As each candidate gives us her spontaneous and unrehearsed answer, the judges will continue their evaluation, and one of these young ladies will be chosen as our new Miss USA. The beautiful young woman in charge of our booth is former Miss USA, Barbara Peterson Burwell. Now, will you 4 young ladies step into the booth, please? Miss Utah, you stay out here with me. As soon as the door is closed so that they cannot hear your answer, I'll ask you the question that I am going to ask all 5. Your question is this: if you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that the most important thing to have is a good attitude, because a good attitude is not the result of success, but success is the result of a good attitude. And if you have a good attitude, you'll get good results.
Thank you, Miss Utah. Miss Arkansas, would you come out to me, please? Miss Arkansas, the question is, if you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them at all times to be honest and to live by that and to put that first above everything else because it means so much. If you have honesty, then you have everything.
Thank you, Miss Arkansas. Miss Texas. Miss Texas, the question is, if you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
I think that etiquette is one of the best things that I could teach to a lot of people. People aren't aware of how important it is to have etiquette, and I think that etiquette is one of the best things that we should all get to know and to learn.
Thank you, Miss Texas.
Thank you.
Miss Kentucky. Right up here, if you please. Miss Kentucky, if you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Do you want me to read it again?
Please.
If you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
I would speak to them on the well-being of their health. A couple of years ago, I experienced an accident which almost took my life, and it's funny how you take your good health for granted, and that's what I would talk to them about.
Thank you, Miss Kentucky. Right here. Miss Ohio, you might have guessed that I was going to speak with Miss Ohio next, right? Right over here, please. Miss Ohio, the question is, if you, as Miss USA, were to tour the United States and were to speak to young people on any subject of your choice, what would you tell them?
I would tell them the best thing in life is to be pleasant, considerate of other people, and always be happy. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Ohio. Thank you, ladies. Now we have moved even closer to finding out who will be the next Miss USA.
The beautiful Gulf Coast is only one part of this wonderful state. For a look at the tradition and progress of Mississippi, our current Miss USA, Kim Seal-Breed, paid a visit to the state capitol. Let's take a look.
Behind me is a portico of one of the most traditional buildings in the South. This is the governor's mansion, located here in the capital city of Jackson. Jackson is not only the largest city in the state, it is also a growing city that serves as the economic center of the Deep South. This is the capital, where the legislature and many of the state's elected officers carry out their duties. That, of course, includes Mississippi's governor, the Honorable William Winter. The governor also maintains an office here in the mansion which serves as a home for him, his daughters, and his lovely wife, Elise. Mrs. Winter, first may I thank you for inviting us to your historic home.
Thank you, Kim. It's a pleasure to have you. We love this old home, and we're glad you're here. Come visit with us.
How long has this mansion been the residence for Mississippi's governors?
This is the second oldest governor's residence in the country, and every governor since Governor Tucker has lived here.
And that was in?
In 1842. During the Civil War, General Sherman's troops destroyed most of Jackson, but fortunately, the governor's mansion was spared. I guess the architecture must have fascinated him.
And I'm fascinated by that intricate workmanship over the doors.
It is lovely, and you know, it's original to the construction in 1842.
Now, this looks like a room with an interesting history.
Yes, we call this the Rose Parlor. We've had a number of distinguished guests to visit here in years past. People like Jefferson Davis, Will Rogers, Theodore Roosevelt, and John Kennedy, and two very special Mississippians, Eudora Welty, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, and Leontine Price, whose voice has thrilled millions.
I would imagine that the governor's guests over the years also have enjoyed attending many official functions here in this most impressive dining room. I can't help but ask Mrs. Winter, that while this is a home rich in beauty and tradition, is it a comfortable home?
Surprisingly so, but you know, the problem here is to keep from getting too comfortable. After all, the governor can serve only one 4-year term. This is my husband's office, and I believe he's expecting us now.
Kim, it's nice to see you again.
Thank you, Governor.
We're delighted to have you come to see us here at the Governor's Mansion, to come to the state of Mississippi. We're proud of this state, and we're delighted to have the Miss USA pageant on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, where we have the opportunity to demonstrate the kind of hospitality that we think the state of Mississippi is famous for, to demonstrate it to people all over this country, to people like you.
Thank you, Governor and Mrs. Winter.
Thank you. And thanks to Kim Seelbreed for taking us on that visit. Now, I have a tip for you all at home. You stay tuned for a closer look at our 5 finalists and another great song from Donny Osmond. Both will be coming your way right after this word from High Point.
The judges are still evaluating our 5 finalists, and as a help to them, we're going to treat everyone to a close-up look at the beauty of our contestants. As you can see, the judges will have monitors so that they, like you at home, can see close-ups of our 5 finalists. As you look at the faces of these lovely young women, you'll hear the serenade sung to them by our special guest, Donny Osmond.
It's like a diamond ring, it's a precious thing, and we never want to lose it. It's like a favorite song that we love to sing. Every time we hear the music, tell you, we're in this love together. We got the kind that lasts forever. Don't you know that we're in this love together? And like berries on the vine, it gets sweeter all the time. It's like a rainy night in candlelight, and ooh, it's so romantic, baby. We got the whole thing working out so right, and it's just the way we planned it. Don't you know that we're in this love together? We got the kind that lasts forever and evermore. Don't you know that we're in this love together? And like berries on the vine, it gets sweeter all the time. Just once, can we figure out what we've been doing wrong? Why we never last for very long? What are we doing wrong? Just once, can we find a way to make it right? To make the magic last for more than just one night. If we could just get to it, I know we could break through it. I see you, you see me, but you're blowing the line when you're making a scene. Oh, girl, you got to know when my head overlooks, the senses will show to my heart. When it's watching for lies, you can't escape my eyes. Private eyes, I'm watching you. They see your every move. Private eyes, I'm watching you. Private eyes, they're watching you, watching you, watching you. Private eyes, I'm watching you. They see your every move. Private eyes, I'm watching you. Private eyes, they're watching you, watching you, watching you. Private eyes.
Donny Osmond. Isn't he great? Thank you, Donny. That's fine. That's fine. The judges have finished their job. In a few moments, one of these young ladies will be the new Miss USA.
Right Right now, the representatives of the accounting firm of Ernst & Winnie are summarizing the computer scores. When that is done, Bob Barker will tell us all the name of the new Miss USA. Now that's what's ahead when we come back after this word from Camé.
We're only moments away from the crowning of the new Miss USA. Whoever she is, she'll be following in impressive footsteps when she succeeds our current Miss USA, Kim Seelbreed. As her reign comes to a close, it's time for Kim to take the traditional walk and deliver her words of farewell. Here is our reigning Miss USA, Kim Seelbreed.
Emotional moment for me. I'll miss the excitement, the fun, and the title that goes with being Miss USA. But in the past year, I feel I've made a lasting friendship with the Miss USA family, including my state director. I want to express my gratitude to my family for their love and support. To my successor, I send my congratulations. And to all of the people everywhere who made the past year the wonderful experience that it was, I thank you.
Kim, I have in my hand the final computer tabulation results, listing 4 runners-up and the new Miss USA. Now, before I read it, I want to say on behalf of everyone associated with the pageant that we would be proud and happy to have any one of these young ladies reign as Miss USA for the next year. Good luck to all 5 of you. Now, I shall read the 4th runner-up. 4th runner-up, Miss Kentucky. The 3rd runner-up, Miss Ohio. Ohio will be very proud. The 2nd runner-up is Miss Utah. Well done, Miss Utah. Both of you step right down here, please. Now, one of you is about to become Miss USA. The other will be the 1st runner-up. It's a position that's very important because if for any reason Miss USA cannot fulfill her obligations for the year, the 1st runner-up becomes Miss USA. It happened just 2 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, I will read the 1st runner-up and then Miss USA. The 1st runner-up is Miss Texas. Miss Arkansas is Miss USA. Very congratulations. Here are your flowers. Oh, what a reaction. Terry, you are new Miss USA. All of the money and all of the prizes are yours, and you are going to represent the United States in the Miss Universe pageant in Lima, Peru on July 26th. Now, I want you to step out here and show everyone how happy you are to be our new Miss USA as Kim Seelbreed reads the Miss USA Creed.
We, representing the states of the United States in the Miss USA pageant, in order to further the cause of peace, justice, and mutual understanding, we solemnly dedicate ourselves to the highest ideal of sportsmanship, friendship, and goodwill among all of the people of the United States.
20-year-old Terry Utley of Cabot, Arkansas is our new Miss USA. She is currently a sales representative for a large resort in Arkansas and plans to continue her career in business. She is 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs 128 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes, and Terry's hobbies include dancing and water sports.
Joining us on stage now is Senor Manuel Bentin, a member of the council
and representative of the Mayor of Lima with an official invitation for the new Miss USA to come to that city for the Miss Universe pageant on July 26th. Congratulations. Now, on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us. Join us for the Miss Universe pageant in July. Bob Barker saying good night, everyone.
Watch a dream come true, but we've all seen it here just now. Our new Miss USA will be back on your screens Monday night, July 26th, when CBS will televise the Miss Universe pageant live from Lima, Peru. Thank you for being with us tonight. We've loved it, and we look forward to being with you again from Lima. Good night, everybody.
Someone's future awaits. The time is right. Tonight is the night. There's a new me flowing through me. Please don't mind if we brag. Head proud, waving that flag. We've come here from near and far. Mighty proud of who we are.
Remember to join us on Monday, July 26th for the Miss Universe pageant here on CBS. Portions of this program were recorded.